Hello, everyone, and welcome to Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. In the news, a 19-year-old Idabel, Oklahoma man, Raymond Antoine Larry III, is in Hopkins County Jail on a warrant naming him for trafficking of a person, a female runaway from Hopkins County in Oklahoma. According to a Hopkins County Sheriff's Office investigation, after the female victim ran away, she was transported to Idabel. Sheriff's investigators believe Larry was the person responsible for transporting the victim to Oklahoma and harboring her. The Oklahoma man was arrested and charged. The child had been missing from Hopkins County since mid-November. Sheriff's investigation led them to southeast Oklahoma. The suspect was arrested in Oklahoma and then transported to the Hopkins County Jail. Empty Stocking plans to distribute toys for children of families in need on Saturday at First United Methodist Church. Among the toys are those collected through the Blue Santa program. Empty Stocking also purchased toys using monetary donations made since last year's distribution. Also, Secret Santa shoppers also purchased toys for the effort. Empty Stocking will be serving over 300 local families and 800 children. Meeting on Monday, the Hopkins County Commissioners Court approved fire protection agreements with 5 volunteer fire departments. Included were departments from Brinker, Como, Cumbie, Dike, and Tyra. The court also approved an agreement regarding FEMA hazardous mitigation projects. The Commissioners Court, at the urging of Sheriff Lewis Tatum, also passed a resolution in support of the Second Amendment and Article 1, Section 23 of the Texas Constitution. The court also approved a budget amendment so that some funds could be placed in the Precinct 2 road building budget.
Life's more fun outside, and we're reminded of that by Steve Killian of Cooper Lake State Park, who says come camping even during the holidays.
It's a new season. This morning, I went down to the lake. I watched this beautiful sunrise, the mist rising off the lake. It was 27 degrees at the park.
Ooh, yes.
The fall colors are gone, but there's still a lot to do at the park. If you'd love to watch wildlife, the white-tailed deer, come out to the park and you can see lots and lots of white-tailed deer. I saw a large buck in my front yard this morning. So it's a lot going on at the park. The staff is preparing at Doctors Creek for a Christmas event called this year Winter Wonderland. It's going to be a free event starting Friday at 6 o'clock, this Friday at 6 o'clock, and then again on Saturday night at 6 o'clock. And it's free. We'll have campers that are decorating their campsites, and you guys can come up and drive through the park. And guess who else is going to be in the park? Santa Claus.
Santa
Claus is going to be there. So he's taking orders from all the kids, and we'll have cookies and hot chocolate. We'll have live music on Friday night as well. We'll have lots of events as well that's going to be intertwined, educational and learning events along with the fun of the Christmas lights and Santa Claus.
So you said Santa will be taking orders?
Orders. You know how that goes, right? Yes.
So you tell Santa what you want for Christmas?
That's it.
Of course.
Kids of all ages.
So a dual purpose for this, educational and
yes, a couple of events that are going on is we're going to have Dutch oven cooking, learn how to cook like the cowboys did back in the day. That's going to be a part of this event. It's going to be on the 14th at 11 a.m. And then we're going to have a night viewing of the heavens on the 14th at 8 p.m. So Ranger Bianca will be there discussing the constellations, the planets, the stars. And that'll be a lot of fun, too. So it's going to be educational, recreational, pretty much like every event we have at the park. Something for everybody.
You know, it's good to see the stars and what's going on up in the heavens and try to, find out, if you don't know some of those points, to learn more, because at Cooper Lake State Park, you're far from city lights. You have wide open spaces to view.
That's right. We're very close to Dallas. I think that's one advantage we have here. We're about an hour and 20 minutes from Dallas here at Sulphur Springs, even closer from Sulphur Springs. fairly close to Paris, fairly close to Sulphur Springs, Texarkana, but we're in a dark spot. If you would look at a night sky shot from a satellite, you would see that where Cooper Lake is right now, it's a dark spot, and as a result, on a moonless night, you can very easily see the Milky Way, the haze of the Milky Way. And being this close to Dallas, that is amazing. And we take advantage of that with nighttime astronomy programs.
I think it's extremely interesting. People need to know more about going out to the lake, maybe not just one time in the summer for your traditional camping, but I didn't know that people camped on Thanksgiving.
Yes, actually Thanksgiving is a huge week for Texas State Parks.
Wow.
Now this past Thanksgiving, you guys remember back, it was cold and rainy, so our camping was not quite as high as it would have been, but with a good week in the upper 50s to low 60s or even 70, we're going to be pretty much full. We have over 200 camping spots in the park, and on a good Thanksgiving weekend, they're pretty much going to be full. Our week are pretty much going to be full during that week. So
you got everything from cabins to
shelters and primitive sites for tents, RV hookups, 30 amp and 50 amp. So we have a wide variety.
Wow.
That's there for pretty much anybody here that wants to come out camping. We probably have a spot for you.
Cooper Lake's right in our backyard.
Yeah, right now I think it took like 18 minutes to get here, 19 minutes driving the speed limit. So yeah, it's close. It's your part. Now the Doctors Creek unit is going to be a little bit farther from Sulphur Springs, but it's in your backyard as well. And then we have Lake Tawakoni State Park.
Oh, really?
And then we have Dangerfield State Park. And then we just have a number of state parks fairly close. And then we have parks that are in the Metroplex as well. Lake Ray Roberts State Park, Cedar Hill. We have Bonham State Park, Eisenhower, Atlanta State Park, Caddo Lake State Park. I could just go on, and they're all just a short drive from Sulphur Springs. And the way that a family or a person with friends could visit a state park, the most inexpensive way is to buy an annual state park pass. The owner of that card, which is $70, anybody in the vehicle with them, family, friends, it doesn't matter. Everybody in that vehicle gets into a state park free. Unlimited visits to all 88 state parks for 1 year plus. 88 state parks, and now we're building 5 more because of the Proposition 5.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good stuff happening. So it's going to be 93 state parks, and it's going to grow from there. And it's for present and future generations to love and enjoy.
So, yes, the proposition passed when we voted back in November for that money, those monies.
They're already being collected, yes.
To be used for our state parks.
That's right, and they're being invested. They're actually next week. I'm really happy about this. I think I've told your listeners there's this massive pier that was destroyed by the flood.
Yeah.
Well, we have engineers coming out next week, and we're going to start the process of developing a more substantial pier that's going to connect across a cove for fishermen that don't have a boat. They just come out and fish. So that's a tangible example of how your listeners are going to benefit when that pier is rebuilt.
Wow.
So that's just one of many things that's going to happen.
Yeah, and the listeners
helped
get this to happen.
Yes, and I'm just a caretaker. I don't know how many years I'll work there. Hopefully a number of years. But when I leave, I'm going to pass the baton to somebody else. But the bottom line is that's the listeners, the citizens of Texas State Park, and like the other 87 state parks.
Well, speaking of them, and all the ones that you named that are nearby, I know you like to go to state parks. You just came back from one or two.
I did. I was a manager at Brazos Bend State Park. Now, if your listeners have never been to Brazos Bend State Park, it's known as the home of the American alligator. I was the manager there for 10 years, and I had the opportunity to go back and visit. We hiked 7 miles through the beautiful live oaks with Spanish moss, and we saw a number of alligators along the trails, safely, of course.
So they weren't near water?
They were near water. the trail, a lot of the trails that Brazos Bend go along the edges of shallow lakes, and alligators love shallow lakes. So it's a great place to take the family down to see viewable wildlife. White-tailed deer, the American alligator. If you're a birder, love birds, it's a birding paradise. So it's just southwest of Houston.
And you showed me a picture, and you were standing there, and there was a bridge, and beside the edge of the
bridge there was an 8-foot alligator, a toll taker. But it was a great opportunity.
He was just laying there.
He was just laying there. It's sunny. You don't have to worry about the alligators that you see. You have to worry about the ones you don't see. They're not like crocodiles, so it's not. But you have to show them a duly amount of respect as well. So there's a wide variety of Texas state parks.
And so you named some of them, such as Bonham. Okay, I had a daughter that lived over there, and they went fishing every day.
Yeah, Bonham is a civilian conservation corps park that was built back in the 30s, and it has nice camping, a few campsites. It's centered around a lake. Dangerfield has a number of campsites, cabins centered around a clear lake, probably one of the best swimming lakes in the whole of Northeast Texas, a clear spring fed.
Is which one?
Dangerfield.
Okay.
And then we have, out in West Texas, we have Monaghan Sand Hill State Park, where the park is basically sand dunes, and you could ride saucers down sand dunes, which is a lot of fun. It's beautiful. We have Paladuro Canyon up in the Panhandle, the second largest canyon in the U.S. It is breathtaking.
It is. It's breathtaking.
And then we have Davis. We have the Davis Mountains. We have Indian Lodge, Davis Mountain State Park. You can camp above 5,000 feet. You can actually get up in the morning on a July morning and have to put on a jacket in Texas. Believe it or not. So I'm telling your listeners there's such a wide variety of state parks. We have an awesome state park here at Hopkins County and Delta County. Enjoy that, but also take trips to other state parks throughout the state.
Yeah, and that might just whet your appetite for more. And that thing that costs $70, that sounds like a wonderful park.
It is. And if you use state parks, and that kind of leads me into my next event is going to be our first day hikes. And what we want to see is provide Cooper Lake State Park as a venue for folks to get out and get healthy and happy. Research has shown if you exercise outdoors, it's going to generate a feeling of well-being. It's going to improve your cognitive thinking abilities. You're going to be healthier. Now, I'm a member of a gym here in Sulphur Springs, but I also do a lot of hiking in the outdoors. I think you need a mix. You need a gym if you like that, or you can just hike outdoors if you like that. I love the mix myself. But on January 1st, we're having 2 hikes at South Sulphur and then 1 hike at Doctor's Creek. And if you're interested in that, just go to our Facebook page and you'll see all that. But I will tell the listeners that at the South Sulphur unit, the first hike is
the Hopkins County.
It's Hopkins County. Is going to be at 10 a.m. And then we're having another hike at the Hopkins County side at 2 p.m. Okay. And then at Doctor's Creek, we're going to have 1 hike, and that's going to be at 1 p.m. So you have the ability to hike. You have 3 different options. If you stayed out a little late on New Year's Eve night, maybe the 2 p.m. one at the South Sulphur unit here in Hopkins County would be better. Or if you want to get up and get after it early, then take that 10 o'clock at this Hopkins County unit as well. It
is. What date?
That's the 1st, January 1st.
January 1, because it's called First Day Hikes.
First Day Hikes, and that's a tradition that many different states throughout the country have tagged onto. And here in Texas, we've been doing it for a number of years. And I believe nationally, this is maybe the 28th year for this. But get out, get active, get healthy. That's the key.
We think about making our New Year's resolutions, and how many of us can say we've kept every one that we've made. But usually getting healthier comes in that list.
Always, right? It's always.
And we try the same things.
If we're doing the same things that we've always done, and we've always failed, and this next year you're going to do the same thing, guess what? It's probably not going to work out as well as you hope. But let's look at trying to exercise in the outdoors. Some days at Cooper Lake State Park, some days walking on these beautiful trails in your city parks here. There's an opportunity for you guys to get out, get healthy, listen to nature sounds, or listen to a book or music while you're out there in the great outdoors. So I'm gonna challenge your listeners to go out and get healthy. Cooper Lake State Park is one of these places that I promise you're going to have fun, and you're going to walk an hour, and it's going to feel like you just begun, because there's so many things to see, so many smells in the forest. It's going to be something I think that you'll love.
Well, I am loving hearing about it, and I would love to do that. Break loose, get out of this regular old routine or rut, and go do something like that.
Yes, if you could get out, at least hit us once a week up there, and then incorporate some other activity the rest of the week. And
in about 1 minute that we have left, just briefly, how much cost would it be if we went there every week?
Well, if you buy the pass, the $70 pass, it's $70, and you can go by yourself, take your family, take friends. If you don't buy the pass and just visit, it's $5 for adults.
Okay.
Kids 12 and under are always free.
Okay.
So it's just up to the individual.
Okay.
But if you're going to actually add the park to your routine, then I would recommend the Texas State Park annual pass.
Yeah, and you can go to others that have climbing and all kinds of other stuff.
Climbing. I was the manager at Enchanted Rock, and we have vendors there that take people on climbing adventures up this granite batholith. So there's so many things you can do in the outdoors in Texas State Parks.
Thank you for reminding us and encouraging us and wishing us well in the new year.
Yes. It's going to be a good new year, and Texas State Parks are there for you.
Steve Killian, who is park complex manager here at Cooper Lake State Park. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Great to be here.
And a wonderful new year wish to you as well.
In sports, the number 3 ranked Wildcats basketball team was upset Tuesday night at Dallas Woodrow Wilson 68-58. The Wildcats are now 8-3 for the season. I talked about the loss with Wildcats basketball coach Clark Cipolletta.
Just came out, got the best of us. They played really well. Hats off to them. They got a really good ball club. They got a lot of size inside. The 6'9", 6'10" kid who, just kind of really affected the game around the rim. Didn't make it easy for Kelm or Day to score in there. And then on top of us going like 2 for 22 shooting the 3 ball. It was just a horrible recipe for success. But, you live and you learn. And we just got to keep getting better from here. And I don't mind losing games early when they don't affect anything, because we get to kind of figure out some stuff, how to get better, and defensively we got to get a lot better as well. I thought we let Woodrow Wilson just do whatever they wanted to do last night and didn't give them much resistance on top of not shooting the ball well. So we found ourselves behind early and just tried to fight back and didn't have enough time.
Yeah, that's unlike one of your teams to give up 68. I looked them up last year, and they actually scored 70 on us last year. We just outscored them. It was 84-70.
Yeah, like I said, they're very good at what they do. They have size inside. They have shooting. They have guards. A very solid basketball team for sure. And, we just got to get back to the drawing board and figure out how to stop some more people. And, and moving forward, we just got to be better at that if we want to keep playing.
And most teams in their own gym, they'll fight like crazy, won't they?
They do. This weekend, we really talked about being the aggressor, being the dog in the fight. And I think we did a good job of that most of this weekend. But yesterday was in one of those situations where we didn't. We have a big bullseye on our back. Being ranked, we're not that team that can slip up on somebody and, surprise them now, which is a good thing. You have expectations. So, we're going to get everybody's best. And if you come out, lackadaisical or not as focused as you need to be, teams are going to get up on you quick, and you just play from behind, and that's not a good spot to be in. So we just got to keep fixing those things.
A tournament that you went to last year over in Forney had some good teams in there, as I recall, and I think in our pool we've got Ennis. I don't know much about them, but certainly know Rockwall Heath, and they used to be able to shoot the 3 ball. Had some great shooters.
They still have them. There's shot happy as any team I've seen. I would have loved to play for them in high school. They just let you fire it up. And, they're really good. They're well coached. They're going to run a lot of sets. They're going to pressure you and just try to make the game chaotic and up-tempo. So that would be a good challenge for us to see. And Ennis is really athletic. They're going to run a zone, and we haven't seen much zone of late, so that will be good as well. So those two games will be good, measuring sticks and, help prepare us for the future.
That's the beauty of a tournament. You get all kinds of stuff that you may not see other places.
You do, and then you get to prepare for a team, very quickly. And I thought that was the hats off to our team. This past weekend, we basically scouted everybody who we could potentially play and had a scout ready for them, but you got to prepare in the locker room right before, so you don't get to walk through all their sets. You have to mentally go through them and mentally prepare and mentally lock into how we're going to guard and defend this team, because we're very scout specific on how we play. We don't just go out there and defend everybody the same. We try to take away your best options, leave open your worst options, and just make you do something that you're not comfortable doing and beating us. And once again, our team did really well of that this past tournament, so moving forward I hope we can do the same.
No journey usually always has adversity, and adversity last night.
What is that?
Adversity last night.
Yeah, adversity is just part of the game, from calls that don't go your way to shots not going in. And, we found a lot of ways to win a lot of those games, but against good teams sometimes you can't. And, adversity is going to come up. We just got to keep fighting away. And I told the team last night they were worried about all these things they can't control. We kind of got flustered a little bit with not our shots going in. We were worried about the refs or worried about this player. We're, championship teams and championship players, they don't worry about that stuff. They lock in as a group and they accept the challenge. So moving forward, we got to be a little bit more mentally tough in doing that as well.
A troubling trend is developing for the Lady Cats basketball team. Several games they have played a very solid first half, only to come out in the second half and struggle. It happened again Tuesday night at home as the Lady Cats led New Boston 32-14 at halftime, only to be outscored 40-15 in the second half by the Lady Lions in a 54-47 loss. I discussed that loss with Lady Cats coach Brittany Tisdale.
They had two of their starters sitting out because they had missed practice. So they came in the second quarter, and that's when it, kind of evened up a little bit. But then they started the second half, and when they started the second half, they started pressing with their regular starting five. And we just couldn't handle the pressure, started turning the ball away, giving up easy layups, and, it just caught up in a hurry.
Yeah, you saw the first half and you see what the team can be. They really played very solidly at 32-14 and played well.
Yeah, we did. We really looked like a team in that first half. We were playing solid help defense and really moving the ball well on offense. Still some things we could have cleaned up in the first half, and so for that, you'd want to build off that, but it's just the story of this year. We just can't come out in the third quarter. I don't know what it is. I told them last night, y'all are going to have to help me out and tell me what is the deal with the third quarter. Why can't we just come out in the third quarter? And it's just that's going to be our test for the rest of the year.
Yeah, got good scoring from Addison Wall and Serenity Lewis. Great first half.
Great first half. Yep, she kind of fell off in that second half. I don't know what happened to her, but Wall just, in my opinion, probably her. I know she scored 23 in a game, but I think this was her best offensive game of the year. She attacked the rim. She did some things that, were just unreal good. She did that little under the basket layup, and she just did some outstanding things in this game.
Now you go to Pleasant Grove on Friday, and how are they this year?
They're in the top 10 in 4A, so it's going to be a hard game. They're ranked way up there, so they're a really good team. So it's going to be tough for us. Do I think we can play with them? I do. When it's the team, that you saw in the first half last night, I think we can play with them. So it just depends on who shows up that game.
The Lady Cats are now 4-10 for the season. The Lady Cats soccer team will have their first scrimmage of the season Thursday at Gerald Prim Stadium. The Lady Cats JV will play Kilgore at 5 p.m., and then the varsity will scrimmage the Lady Bulldogs beginning at 7:15. I talked with first-year Lady Cats head soccer coach Javier Aguayo.
We feel great. I mean, we'll play Kilgore. They're a great school. We'll have to see tomorrow. I think we're ready to play them. And like I said, I think Kilgore's a tough opponent. Yeah.
They've had some great success in soccer.
They have for the past few years. Like I said, they made it to finals or semifinals of 4A state. So they have a really good program. Yeah.
How have your practices been going since you started on December 2nd?
They've been going great. I mean, we're learning how to run off the ball and this and that. You know, movement off the ball, support. You know, shift or transitioning as a whole, transitioning back as a whole, defending. So we've also worked on corner kicks, free kicks. So I think we're looking good. Yeah.
Always key to a soccer team possessing the ball as much as possible.
Yeah, so I'm a big possession. I love possession. I mean, I love Barcelona, tiki-taka.
There you go.
So hopefully, I mean, we keep possession of the ball. I mean, I'm a big believer in if you retain the ball, keep possession of the ball, I mean, you can win games. Yeah.
Yeah. So as a first-year head coach, it's got to be thrilling when you have your first opportunity. It's not a real game, but it feels more like it.
It does. It does feel like it, and it's like a very exciting feeling. Like, oh, let's go out there and play. Let's see what we got. Yeah. It shows you, like, once you have your first scrimmage, it just shows you, like, and your players who's going to go out there and do the job. Yeah.
I'm sure your team is ready to play somebody else other than somebody that's got a Lady Cat jersey.
Oh yeah, they're excited. A lot of them are excited and nervous, which I'm like, hey, it's a good thing. I'm like, let's go out there. It's just a scrimmage and let's show up and play. Yeah.
That's Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. Thank you for joining me, and so long, everybody.